Now, what's the difference between solving question and solving the previous question? The difference is that this is where we're going to narrate a story to you. And you're going to understand what the story is trying to tell you, and we're going to solve it. So the prerequisite to solve all this thing is you're supposed to have some kind of knowledge in equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the equation for you. Then we begin solving first. We aim at solving question first. Subsequently, then I will show you how I derive the equation. So remember, all the equation, I will give it to you. We focus on solving. Subsequently, I will roll out the equation, how exactly I derive it. So let's take a look together on this one. I will go straight to the word example because I think this is the best way to explain it. When 8.4 grams of magnesium carbonate is heated, it decomposes into magnesium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Calculate the mass of magnesium oxide formed. So in every step of chemical calculation, the first thing you should do is write equation. So this is the equation of MgCO3, which is magnesium carbonate. Like I said, you do not have to worry about the equation at this point in time. All you need to do is to follow me in terms of the equation. It decomposes to give you magnesium oxide, followed by plus carbon dioxide gas. Now, the next thing is I must balance the equation. Balance the equation simply means that I must make sure all the elements left and right are the same. You see 1 mg on the left, 1 mg on the right. 1 carbon on the left, 1 carbon on the right. 3 oxygen on the left, 3 oxygen on the right. This is called a balanced equation, which means all the number at the front here is 1 is to 1 is to 1. Now, this number can change depending on the questions. Because sometimes the question, the left and right is not exactly the same. So you need to add or change the number accordingly to make sure the element is balanced. Later, we will take a look at the equation that you need to change the number. But as of now, everybody is 1. Now, after I got all this value, next step, I write down here 8.4. Now, how do I solve such questions? This is how I solve it. The way I'm going to solve it, it is the exact same way you're going to replicate it for the rest of the questions. That means no matter how hard the question changes, what I show you here, the fundamental always remain the same. The very first step in chemical calculation is write equation, because you must know the number here. The number not all the time is 1. It can change. The second rule in solving the question is you must find the mole. That's why I say before that mole is the most important. So I want to find a mole. So let me write down number of moles of MgCO3. Now, why I only want to find MgCO3? Why I don't find Mg or CO2? Very simple. Because MgCO3 is the one that I only know this mass, I don't know the rest. So I will take the mass here divided by the molecular mass of MgCO3. So I take 8.4. Remember just now what you have just done? Repeat the exact same procedure. Divided by the molecular weight of a magnesium plus 1 carbon, because you got 1 carbon inside, and plus 3 oxygen. Now, if you press your calculator, you should get 0.1 mole. This is where you write the units. Previously, we never write the units because the table already gives it to us. Here you can write the units. Now, if you know this is 0.1 mole, this is the key. In chemical calculation, if you want to compare and find out what is the mass of any compound present, you only can use mole to compare it. Now, what do I mean by this statement? You see the 1 at the front here? Now, I want you to put a little note here. This number here has a meaning. We call it as mole ratio. Now, what do we mean mole ratio now? Think like a very simple math questions. It simply means that 1 ratio of MgCO3 is 0.1 mole. Let me repeat again. 1 ratio of MgCO3 is 0.1 mole. The question is interested to find out the mass of MgO, which is magnesium oxide. What is the units for MgO? 1 ratio. Can you see that? So which means that these two are 1:1. If this is 0.1 for 1 unit, this will also be 0.1 because it's a 1:1 ratio. Therefore, we can draw a conclusion. Number of moles of MgO equals to 0.1. So remember, you only can use mole for comparison, and the number at the front is very, very critical. They are the ratio. That's why the first thing we should do is always write equation. Second, calculate the mole. What is the third step I just done? Compare mole ratio. And this is what I just done here. So I want to find out the mass. Do I know the moles? Yes, I will find the mass. The mass of MgO is equal to 0.1, which is your mole, multiplied by the molecular weight of MgO. The reason for this is because mole is equal to mass over mR. To find the mass, all I need to do is take mole times mR. And this is what I just done here. And the 40 is because Mg is 24, oxygen is 16. From here, you should get 4 grams. That's the answer. Now, what you see here is the real typical examination questions. The first time you do this question, your teacher will give you as high as 3 marks question. And you find that this is a very ridiculously simple question, okay? Because you can